Welcome to the CARNY to Congress podcast, formerly Baywater Boat Club Hour. My name is Adam Otana. CARNY to Congress podcast is brought to you by Baywater Exclusive Boat Club. We've got a few, I got a buddy here. We got Jake also. Jake and Winnie, you want to say hi, Jake?
Hi, everybody.
There you go.
Like my shades?
Yeah, I was doing all right. And I got a good friend here, Nigel Fullick. Nigel.
How you doing, Anna?
Pretty good, buddy. It's hot. It's warm.
Well, it was a lot hotter when I was wearing my suit about an hour ago, so this was a good idea to
I'm glad,
chill out.
I'm glad you changed. You know, Nigel told me a good point, you know, when I was talking about just like politics a while ago. He said, you gotta do it in front of the mirror. I never did it. But we started doing this podcast. I noticed I play with my nose a lot. I was noticing that.
It's a lot to play with.
I know. It's big. Nice.
And we're off.
Nice.
Starting off good.
So I'm going to try to restrain myself from doing that. But Nigel is a city councilman for Bonita Springs. How long? Tell me about the story. How long you been here, where you come from, Bonita, and all that good stuff.
Oh, gosh, Adam. Let's see. Moved to Bonita in 2003.
Okay.
And was to open Home Bank, which is not in existence anymore. Fell in love with the town. Got promoted and asked to go back to Palm Beach and take care of some things there and really miss this. And this was first time in my life, this is home. So since 2003, Bonita's been home. Home Bank went under and fortunately got to go with the group and we formed our own company and we survived the recession and the downturn and COVID and everything else. So going on, what now? 24 years here.
Yeah.
And
you work with John R. Wood, right?
well, John R. Wood's our biggest client.
Okay.
So we're still a mortgage bank. In fact, New Res, I'm not going to do a commercial for New Res, but we're the fourth largest mortgage bank in the country.
Okay.
And proud of that. But we've been the inside lender for John R. Wood now for 18 years.
Nice.
Great people. Great people. Good company, great culture. It fits. Certainly fits here in Bonita. And gosh, what else? Found a beautiful home on the water, and that'll never change. You're laughing. What?
How many times have you redone it, sir?
Oh, no, that's the other story. Yes. I did. A lot of people that are Bonitians that have been here a long time will remember Frank and Jane Lyles.
Okay.
Frank was just a great guy, became a friend, also an Army veteran. And when Frank passed, Jane decided she was to sell the home, so I bought it and completely redid it and finished up 2 weeks before Ian hit. So that was a joy. And so I did it all over again, and Irma hit. So I literally I'm on my third redo of the house and hoping to move in here by the end of the summer.
Have you slept a night in the house?
Adam, I have not slept one night in that house. That is, I sometimes call the house Frank's revenge.
Ooh, that's rough. So you've been flooded 3 times then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
As have a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And, I've been fortunate enough that was able to recover from it. I think of all the folks that you and I know that with families that
Just can't do it.
with me just had to take care of myself and the house. But very resilient community that we're in, as you well know. Pretty much that's it. Before Bonita, Fort Lauderdale. My family moved to Fort Lauderdale in 1970.
Okay.
So pretty much that was my formative years, learning how to drink, carouse, and work for a living.
And then you came from Detroit before that, right? And
Correct.
then, but
from
you were
Detroit.
Originally from
London, England born and raised for the first 7 years of my life in Ireland. My grandparents had a farm there. So no accent unless I've been drinking too much with people like you.
He likes the martinis. It's very dry.
That's probably the English.
But nice. Now, you're in politics, city council, Bonita Springs.
Yeah, a friend of mine belabored me
Several times.
a week. So yeah, 19, listen to me, in 2022. I think it was just to have you stop calling me mayor. So ran for city council, District 5, and it's been both challenging and a lot more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
Told you. Be fun.
Big part of that is Bonita. Very different place.
And we got a good council right now, and you see the way Bonita is really growing in the last 5 years since you've been there.
Well, you know what? People say that we're growing, and I would like to say that we're growing into being Bonita Springs, because the bottom line is, you know as well as anybody
Yep.
that if you go back 10 years, downtown, nobody went downtown at night. There was nothing to go to.
Nope.
And
There were some taco restaurants. We got a few places that sell tacos.
that
Maria's was good.
not exactly what you'd call a downtown.
Yeah.
We did have the Bamboo Village mobile home park. That was a great place to go at night and hang around. Not for you and I, but
Yeah. It's different. It's different. No, I mean, just thinking about it, like how I was there last Tuesday with Greg DeWitt,
our
Chief
fire
DeWitt,
chief, yeah.
Fire Chief DeWitt, because he was doing the judging of Battle of the Bands. And again, Tuesday night, out of season. I mean, they did have good bands there, packed Sugar Shack. So I mean, it's great. It's good to see. I mean, I love it. It's doing a great job. You guys are doing a great job with it. See a lot of the new development coming in. Look, we got 2 restaurants that got Michelin star recommendations.
That's amazing.
That is, I mean, those girls.
Kudos to them.
Those girls are doing a great job. A couple of Hillsdale girls, sisters. I always went down there. I remember when I was door knocking, I go get coffee in there in the morning and talk to Zoe, and it was always a fun banter. But then they opened, the coffee shop. Then they opened Bohemian, and I like to take credit for them having the steak on their menu, because you're gonna have the meat piece. So they did put a steak on there. I'll take credit for it. And then the Canary Club. But I mean, just 2 recommendations. Great food, amazing.
But in a town our size, to have 2 Michelin guide rated restaurants, the amazing thing for most people, I think, is the fact neither of those restaurants existed 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Even 4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So great job by them. But the excitement downtown with the business people, they get it. Initially, you had 3 or 4 individuals that made that initial, basically not just an investment, but they took a big chance.
Yeah.
And give Ben Nelson and his wife Lori credit.
Yeah.
And then Susie that took over from them.
Rex, yeah. And
Rex Sims said, I mean, Heaven Sent.
Heaven Sent's good. You got the French. She's actually a club member, Survey Cafe. So, she's Sophie. They do a good job over there, good sandwiches and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see. You guys are doing a lot with the pool down there and the park and so much other stuff going on.
Well, I'm hoping for the pool. The splash pad is really coming along. The only good thing about the drought is that downtown is actually on schedule, and the splash pad will be open for season, which will be great. But I think a lot of people really don't know what a splash pad is, so the families and the kids are just going to love it.
That's be great.
And then you'll be between Rooftop and Sugar Shack. So that's one of the things, both Rooftop and Sugar Shack, to go in there on a Saturday and see families. It's not people in there drinking and carrying on. It's families just having a good time.
I think we almost need to have like a open container law on, after Fridays, shut it down a couple roads and make it walkable. That might be good. Who knows?
I'll let all my constituents know that it was your idea.
Maybe a parking garage down there would be good. There's a couple of things going on there. So there's a lot of good stuff going on with Bonita. But yeah, so you live on a river, you have a boat, you say you have a pontoon, right?
I do. I have a little Bennington and for the evenings, and then I've got a Boston Whaler that I don't use often enough that I actually bought off our former city manager, Gary Price.
Yeah.
And both good.
You could join a boat club. It makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about it. You keep it overnight. It's stored. We take care of
everything. If I could get you to deliver it up to the house.
Hey, anything is attainable for a fee, sir. For a fee. For a fee. So yeah, no, I mean, I have to say, I bumped into Nigel. It's been over the years, right? When we started like in a chamber and stuff. I'm like, who's this guy?
All I knew that you were incredibly abusive.
Well, that's, who's this guy? He's got like an accent. It gets a little thicker when he has a couple martinis,
Wears a suit and tie all the time.
Who's this guy? I talked to our friend Richard. He was like, Nigel, he's a good guy. I was like, okay, all right, gotcha. So I heard before, back in the day, you might have been an agent or a narc.
Oh, wow.
or something like that back in the day? I mean, is that
That's a long time ago.
heard about this? What was that about?
Well, when I went in the Army,
Thank you for your service, sir.
you're very welcome. Proud to do it. Earned my keep.
Okay.
But when in the Army, I was a combat MP, but Vietnam was winding down, and I was fortunate enough to be sent to Germany, and they had a huge drug problem there. So they were looking for young guys that could go undercover. So within a year, I'm working undercover with the USER Drug Strike Force. I was there 2.5 years. They wouldn't let me come home. So
was this just you're going after? Were you working with Germany, or were you just going after?
Oh, we were
military
all over Europe, and
all
it
over
was,
Europe. Okay.
you know, I'm stupid enough back then to not realize the opportunity that I had, but actually worked with the French Sûreté, which was their CID, the German Kriminalpolizei. But heroin and hashish were a huge problem back in the 70s.
After Vietnam and all
Well,
that.
Vietnam, the problem just kept coming because guys would come home from Vietnam and they would have problems. But a lot of guys went from Vietnam to Germany and Korea. Same thing. Heroin was a huge problem. So we had our work cut out for us. A massive group of 6 of us to handle all of Germany, Belgium, and
6 of you. That was it.
well, hard to find 6 guys that were stupid enough to go undercover and
Wow.
do that. But I came back to the States, wanted to finish college, and thought, well, I had a lifestyle over there, so I couldn't live off the GI Bill. And so I took a job at the police department, and they found out about my background. So the next thing you know, I'm working undercover again. And then this was the late 70s, and drugs had just exploded in Florida.
Okay.
So they formed a task force, DEA, asked me if I wanted to do it. And it's like, as long as I can go to school 3 days a week, no problem with that. So ended up working narcotics until 1986.
Wow.
I went to DEA school and still have my, you can come by the office one day and I'll show you my diploma.
Okay.
I don't have etchings, but I have diplomas. But yeah, it was a sad time, and it was a very difficult time. I look at the tools that law enforcement has today. If I went to the islands or South America, pretty much on my own. If I wanted to get hold of somebody back in the States, I'd pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
There were no cell phones.
Yeah. That's different.
Satellite phones were barely working, and it was
The little brick phones, those suitcases, right?
we wished we had those.
Yeah. I bet you got some stories, Nigel. That's crazy. So South Florida in the 80s, late 70s, that's like old Don Johnson,
Well, that was
Vice
Miami Vice was born out of that.
Yeah.
The joke was that we could always tell a cop by the fact that he looked like either Don Johnson or what was the other guy's name?
Tubbs, yeah.
Yeah, the silk sport jackets, and we all look like this or bums. And
Yeah.
so if you went out into a bar, you could tell not a narc, because a narc would never dress like that. But the boating community was also interesting. Places like Everglades City became very, very well known because things got too hot in Miami. And then you had the sod farms, which I don't know if you knew, but back in the day, you could land a DC-3 or a DC-6 at night, and they did. So we had some interesting encounters out in the Everglades.
My grandfather bought this in the late 70s, and he was here. He built onto it. And the first winter they were here, they would see maybe like 2 boats go by, like a mullet skiff. But at night, just boats hauling through here. These are mullets. Yeah. And
Water lines that had been repainted.
Yeah, just crazy. Just would fly, you'd see stuff, but it was just different back then. But yeah, a lot of stuff came in through 10,000 Islands, through Marco, because they're not.
But even actually up in Fort Myers with the fishing fleets, there were a lot of folks that supplemented their incomes back in the day.
I bet. Yeah, I can never figure that out. You see these boats, like you go down the Keys and you see stuff, and you hear stuff like all the time. It's just kind of crazy. I remember being in the Keys. This was probably, let's say, 10 years ago, and we were out there fishing, and it was at a Bud and Mary's, and the captain says, "Hey, look at that," and it was a square. We didn't touch it. We just did like, oh, no, that's
Amazingly, always weighing right around 50 pounds.
yeah. I was like, oh, we didn't touch it. I was like, it was just me on the boat with the captain, the first mate. The first mate actually owned the boat. And so he's like, nope, I don't want that near my boat or anything like that. I was like, I don't want nothing, but just crazy stuff. So, I mean, I would imagine one night would pay for that boat several times over,
I'm not going to say any names, but I can, right off the top of my head, I can name half a dozen millionaires who were smart enough to get out of the profession after they made their money. And of course, back in the day, the RICO statutes really were a result of the drug trade. So did start using racketeering, influence, and corruption with RICO until the early 80s. And then you started seizing boats and planes and you name it.
Like I watched the movies, right, with Rico and stuff. So where did that, do you have any background on that? How that all kind of came up? Or was that down here in the Florida where that started? Or was it more?
Absolutely. Here and...
see how the podcast goes? We just kind of go from one thing to the
yeah,
next.
it's kind of jumping all over the place here.
Yeah, that's fun.
But...
it's interesting. Jake and I are intrigued.
I don't know why. But RICO was the law enforcement's answer and the government's answer to combating an enormous amount of wealth that we were up against. We used to say if we showed up with a shotgun, the bad guys showed up with MAC-10s, automatic weapons. And if we showed up with a state's attorney that had been a prosecutor for 3 or 4 years, they showed up with the finest law firms in the country. So it was a money thing. And that's the old thing about where do you go? Go after the money. So we started going after assets. And you remember Al Capone. I mean,
Yeah.
don't ask me if I went to high school with him. I didn't. I'm not that old.
He is actually, he did have some time in Bonita.
Yes, he did.
There's some, he had a house down
In
here.
Hollywood.
In Hollywood or across the state, yeah.
The house in Hollywood is still there.
He was at the Fat Farm here in Shangri-La, I heard a couple things. So that's what the Shangri-La was eventually.
Believe it or not, this was called neutral territory. In fact, South Florida was neutral territory to the mob, to the mafia. Back in the day, they wanted somewhere they could bring their families and where they would be safe. So until, early 80s, late 70s, you never saw mob hits here. But then drugs infiltrated the mafia.
Whitey Bulger.
Well, Whitey Bulger was a bank robber. He was a bad guy.
Highlight back in the day, way back then. So that's different. I remember from the movie there, but
Great place to launder money.
yeah, I could imagine.
They found that as a way to combat. But bringing up Al Capone, they didn't get him for bootlegging or smuggling They got him for Internal Revenue Service, got him for taxes, tax evasion.
Yeah.
We know you've got all this money. How'd you get it? We don't care, but you need to pay taxes on it.
Yeah. He had an ego too. He was.
It's usually what gets most criminals in the end is their egos and their arrogance.
Yeah. No. We know that. But we know that for sure. Well, that's interesting. So you were with the DEA, I guess, then for
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So you were
Miami.
And
everything would basically, it was funny, there was always a new task force, and most of the guys that I worked with had families. Terrible job for a guy with a family, a wife.
I can
and kids,
imagine.
because between the stress and the amount of time you're awake, I could go to South America for a month, and the only people that missed me were my folks and girlfriend. But
which one?
that's unkind. I'm much better now, Adam. And you do realize I've been a legitimate businessman now since, 1988?
Yes, that's fine. I was 4, but it's okay. Jake wasn't even around.
Nope.
Jake's looking at me like a dinosaur. Thanks, Jake.
Not at all.
He's dying in that black shirt. That sun's just melting out.
No, it's the pants. The shirt's fine.
So how did this all come to be? I was curious about that. We're friends, but I've never asked you.
So it actually happened, like we started talking and we advertised on 92.5 Fox News all the time, right? Like, hey, this is Adam from Bayswater Exclusive Boat Club, the only family-owned and operated boat club forever. So then I started running for office, so we changed it. Hey, this is Adam Botana from Bayswater Exclusive Boat Club, and just kind of went from there, and we just advertised. And Matt from Wink Radio said, hey, there's an opening on Saturday mornings for like an hour. Do you want to do a podcast? Like just do a show on Fox News on Saturday mornings. I'm like 7 to 8 a.m. And I talked to my dad. I was like, hey, this is good advertising for us. So why don't we try it out? So I showed up the first time and Jake was there. And he goes, so what's the name of your show? I go, I don't know. He goes, you don't know? What are you going to talk about? I go, boats? What else am I going to talk about? People, life experience.
The water.
The water. And he's like, okay, give me a minute. So he goes up and gets a guy, Moody, and Moody sat across from me and we just started talking for an hour. And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
It wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful, but
good.
it was pretty bad. And then we just kept doing it. So I think we did that for 5 years? I mean, we did it for a while. 5, 6 years, I
We
think.
started in late 2018.
Yeah, so we was doing it for like 6 years. We did it. And we were on the road, like doing this. And then, I would call in and we would just record the show. And people listen to it on 92.5 because people that listen to Fox News 95, it's like religious. They just turn it on. Monday through Sunday, they just turn it on. And I had people like, this show's not that good. And people are like, hey, you and Jake, how about your mom's key lime pie? Because I'll talk about my mom's key lime pie or nugget or Jake. People love Jake.
So you telling me that more people besides your mom are watching this?
I know, yeah.
That's frightening.
No, there's 3 of us now.
I've probably got constituents right now that are rethinking their vote.
Yeah. So then we didn't do it for a little while. And I was like, why don't we actually just kind of morph this into a podcast? Let's do it legit. Let's sit down. This is what, our 10th show? This has been our 10th show, 10th podcast that we've done. And it's usually Jake and I. Now we're adding guests just to bring in because you can only listen to Jake and I.
We've got 210 episodes of me and him.
It's just talking about boats and whatever and the boat business and family and carnivals and running for Congress. And that's the whole thing, like CARNY to Congress podcast.
Oh, I do remember.
So it's just kind of fun. I mean, it just kind of, we went there and the name came up as we were, the Florida Chamber gave me a B for like my first year in session because I don't even know how they came with a B because I voted the right way. But they just gave me a B. And I was like, this is bull.
Well, it was probably before the amount of respect that you showed your elders.
Yeah,
That's probably the B.
So I'm there and I was at a bar with a buddy of mine. He's like, can you believe this? And he goes, well, why don't we write, never been an A student anyways, So that's what I wrote. And I shared it and tagged the chamber. And I put hashtag CARNY to Congress because my family's originally in a carnival business. So then we were here and I'm like, Jake, we ought to just change it from Baywater Boat Club because this is brought to you by Baywater, family business, paying for the podcast. But let's just change it to the CARNY to Congress podcast. So Jake made a whole website and I'll share it with you. And it's like, he did a good job. Like, it's good. And we got links on there, kind of the story of the family and everything like that. And we're just rolling with it.
So if Jake had $1 for every time you said, don't worry about it, just roll with it, he'd be a wealthy guy.
Well, I'm not broke. I'm not rich, but I'm not broke.
my famous, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. There's only so much you can do. Like with Julie, had Julie on last week. So she did a great job.
She did it way better than she gave herself credit.
She did a great job. She got into FGCU too.
Oh, good for her. Well, she's a very bright young lady.
Oh, yeah. So she came to me. She goes, I think I'm helping out with the business here, Baywater.
Is this your Julie voice you're doing right
I know I can't do it very well, but it's very, very, very attentive. I think I want to go get an MBA. I'm like, well, that's fine. Let's do it. She goes, you're going to have to write a letter of recommendation. I'm going to get this person to write a letter because I need these letters of recommendation. We got to get it done right now. Like, I go into the office and the computer's open and there's like 7 screens open. Let's go for one. So then this past weekend, she just got in. They said, you don't even need another letter. She went to Ohio State. Like, on paper, great. Boom, done. Already in. So.
The neat thing is, you've watched it too. It's the number of young people that have gone to FGCU, and unlike other places, they leave. We got a lot of homegrown talent that go to FGCU and stay here. They believe that they have a life here and a career here. That is encouraging.
Well, even with her, we talked about how she came to be part of Baywater, right? We met at a bar at the Bay House. She was there with her parents. I was there with a club member. She's like, what do you do? I go, I wash boats. She goes, I'm going to wash boats. I'm like, show up with a resume. And she showed up with a resume. I was like, Dad, we're hiring her. Put her to work over there. And then she worked, with me in the legislature. So it was supposed to be 1 year, turned into 3. And now she's back here. But, it's the same with her is where like, oh, I can't live here. This is too old. There's nothing to do. Then I talked to her like last year and I was like, hey, how do you feel? She goes, this place is great. You know, because once you kind of get into it, yeah, there's not a bunch of young people, and it can get quiet. But now she's 26. It's kind of like you kind of need that. You know, you get your core people, and that's it. You don't need to have everybody.
Biggest favor that any parent could do for their child is to take them traveling so they can see what they've got here, because that's what I had no idea what it was like somewhere else, and then come scampering back here because we do live in paradise.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like what usually happens here, I've heard from kids, and Jake probably touched to this too, is where you hear all the kids that like I was traveling, so I got a GED. I didn't go to the high school deal and all that. But you hear like, oh, I'm going to Tampa. I'm going to college and I'm moving to DC and I'm moving here. And also they go there and they're like, wow, it sucks. You know, you don't want to live in the city of DC. I mean, you got, kids just running and just, just breaking and taking everything. And
My nephew went to Georgetown and greatest place, Guess where he's practicing law? South Florida.
yeah, no, exactly.
Where do you want to raise his kids? South Florida.
Florida.
Safer.
Yeah.
Great opportunities, and a state where we don't tax you to death.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to try to drop that even a little bit more.
Your lips to the Lord's ears.
Yeah. And there's stuff. We were talking about Detroit. So we were talking about Detroit, Jake. This is a funny story.
Jake would not know. Detroit, once upon a time, Jake, was a beautiful city, great place to grow up, safe, exciting. I mean, there's always something going on.
A lot of pickle soup.
I grew up in Columbus, and I would have to say that the same things that happened to, Detroit is specifically because of the automotive industry leaving. And then after that, the amount of abandoned houses and everybody left. It's from what I know, though, is it's on the ups.
It's better.
Think about it this way. Detroit, when I was a kid, I think the population was around 1.5, 1.7 million, somewhere in there. And now it's 700,000. And it got all the way where it was actually less than 500,000.
Yeah. Unions destroyed Michigan. I have to say, and I'll probably get in trouble for some people, but I think a lot of them, that's why we did carnivals there, right? That's why we did so many fairs in Michigan, because they had so much disposable income. You have somebody that lives in Three Rivers, which is on this side of the state. He works Monday through Thursday. He drives over, and his family still lives in Three Rivers because he's making, this is back in the 70s, $20-$30 an hour, working for, the big three.
Like making $110 an hour now.
It's so, unions were great back when the kids were in the shops. You had 7-year-olds in the cotton gins and stuff like that. It was a different animal. But Detroit is really there's a story, we were talking about this earlier. So originally my grandfather got into the carnival business, selling ice cream. That was his deal. They had, back in the 50s is when he got into it, was Nutty Dips. So it was like a Klondike bar.
Nutty Dip.
Yeah, so a Klondike bar that was dipped in chocolate, rolled in nuts, because they didn't have soft serve, right? So he had the exclusive at the Detroit State Fair. So they had 12 locations at the Detroit State Fair. He was the only one that sold them. So he had a good racket there. We did about 30 fairs.
Racket is kind of the key word.
Yeah. Then about 30 fairs he did in Michigan and Indiana and down into Alabama in the South. We did that. But he was there, and we had a couple crazy stories about these trailers, right? And these were little pop-up trailers, or like a RV pop-up. And it's not the nice stuff that you see now with all the lights and everything. And they had a yesteryear village in Detroit. And what that is where you go back in time. And they had the blacksmith, and they had the
Did you ever go to Greenfield Village?
The Greek town.
Greenfield Village, which is basically Henry Ford Fire. So it was Michigan in the height of the golden age of the automobile area. But if you haven't been there, old steam locomotives, Henry Ford's, one of his production plants, just a small scale of it.
Like every president, my parents seen Reagan there, they seen Bush. So by the time I was older, we had pulled out because Detroit had got so bad. The fair went really down, the town went down, a lot of stuff, but there was a lot of good things there. So they had the stagecoach over in this yesteryear village, okay? And they had 6 horses on this stagecoach, and it would, they were walking around the yesteryear village. Well, Detroit was pretty rough, and this was, I think, in the 70s. Might have been
so your first riots were in 67.
So this was pretty rough. So it would get pretty rough at the fair.
Sure.
And they started rioting at the fair. And we had these little pop-up tents. And my parents, They were young. I don't think my brother was even born yet, but they were in the Yesteryear Village trailer. And what would happen is folks would just start running. Kids would start running and they would destroy. Like they killed a couple employees because they rolled a cheap jewelry trailer over, and a girl got pinned underneath and she died because they just start breaking, they just start grabbing. So what my parents did, you kind of become friends with everybody around you. There was like a grab joint, so they had like sausage and hamburgers there. And then there was the ice cream, and there was a popper that had like cotton candy and caramel apples. Well, the people that were on the stagecoach were there, and they had to get out of there. Like this was serious. So they took the money out of the trailers and they threw it up into the stagecoach, and everybody jumped onto the stagecoach to get out of there. So there's 6 horses. Okay, this is a true story.
I'm looking at you right now.
No,
Your nose isn't growing, so I'm going to trust
They
you.
had to ride the damn stagecoach out of there, out of that part of the fair, because they would just run it, right? And people get scared of horses. They get, there's a reason there's a mounted division, right?
Well,
and they start
if
getting.
you've ever looked a scared horse in the eye, you do not want to be in a
So
sleigh.
they're running this stagecoach, and everybody's on top of this thing. My dad, Cuban, this is the 70s, big hair. Mom
always wanted to be a cowboy.
Mom, Farrah Fawcett hair in there, all that. And everybody's up on there, and they had to ride that out of that area of the fairgrounds to get to the other side, to get where it was safer, but it was crazy. But that was that was 70s in Detroit, it was nuts, and it was crazy. And the money was good, but it was trouble. It was a lot of work, a lot of hassle to deal with.
Well, it's funny you say that. Detroit's a great example, and I don't want to speak ill of the East Coast of Florida, but I used to say that when I came over here, and even when I ran for office, I was very passionate about it. When I moved to Fort Lauderdale, it was Bonita Springs. Mm-hmm. You could water ski on the Intercoastal Waterway.
Yep.
You could go hunting out where Weston is now on horseback.
Yeah.
And it was safe. My parents built their only new home, very humble little 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Lauder Hill, and there were no locks on the doors. There was a slide lock on the front door, basically for show. You didn't lock your doors.
So when did you move down into Lauderdale? How old?
1970.
So you were what? You were
Just graduated high school. Literally 2 weeks after, Mom and Dad said, as soon as you graduate, we're moving to Fort Lauderdale.
And are you the youngest? Or are you the?
Oh, I was the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay,
We're
so they wanted
Catholic.
you to get through.
My mother was a failure. She only had 5 kids. Bad Catholic.
So they wanted to get you through high school. And they're like, all right, we're pulling the kids out.
And,
Because Detroit was getting rough.
Well, nobody in our family had ever been to college. And my mother had great plans for me. I was either going to be a lawyer or a priest. And that didn't work out real well. My father said he saw before that that's probably not going to happen. But so I ended up staying in Detroit because of a girl and went to University of Detroit. But they moved down here. And I was the most popular guy in my fraternity because my folks lived in Fort Lauderdale. So spring break and Christmas, my dad would have 6, 7 guys. He'd set up cots in the garage.
Yeah.
And everybody slept there. And
Well, that's surprising that you guys went to that coast, because usually everybody from Michigan follows 75 and comes to the west coast of Florida.
Dad had a friend, and it was a quote business opportunity.
Okay.
And that's how we ended up in Fort Lauderdale.
Awesome.
And it just a great place. Mm-hmm. But
He would probably lay on the accent thick too. He came down here because you went to Florida Atlantic, didn't you?
well, I did. So I got my associate's degree in criminal justice at Broward College.
Okay.
And then went on to FAU and got public administration and criminal justice there. Okay. And now look at FAU now. When I went to school there, you had to worry about stepping into boring owl holes. Mm-hmm. Now we've got a 30,000 seat stadium, Division I. And medical school. Obviously I love FGCU. It's our great local university, but I am an owl.
You can't get any more medical schools in the state of Florida. Those places like, no, the Bog says no more medical schools.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why you can't. Yeah. So Florida is, you think about it, it's competitive as hell with the amount of colleges. Oh yeah.
Good way.
And the amount of colleges that we have in the state of Florida: University of Florida, University of Central Florida, FAU, US of Miami, UF, FSU. You're talking
FSW.
million FSW. It just, but that's community versus, I mean, just
Well,
massive.
there's a good that you just brought up, FSW. When
Great
it
school.
was Edison, it was just a little community college. Now you can go to FSW and you can get a bachelor's degree. It's limited.
With no debt.
Bingo.
With no debt.
Well, you and I have a friend, Richard. We won't name his last name, but he was thrilled because one of his triplets decided to go to FAU. So he'll have to buy you and I dinner and drinks for the next 4 years.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We've saved him a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, then he's got his other girls going to FSU. I was like, well, she's got a job in the legislature.
And one to Clemson.
Yeah, and the boy to Clemson, so that's
As
great.
soon as I heard about Clemson, I started feeling sorry for him.
Yes. That's good for him, though. It's good for him to get up there. And, but that's, I mean, it's crazy. So remember, this when Nigel calls me one day. He's like, hey, we got tickets over at Dunk City at the FGCU.
Oh, goodness.
FAU is going to come over and roast him. You want to come over? I was like, sure. I'll come over and hang out.
It was the year that we went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Crazy year.
Yeah.
And
It was the year after, right? It was the year after? Or was
Oh, no, it was the year that we went to the Final Four. And
So I got a FGCU hat, so I'm sitting with all the FAU guys.
no, when you say he's sitting in the FAU alumni section with me, excuses himself and comes back wearing an FGCU hat, sits down and says to me, what do you think?
And FGCU won. Like they beat it. They
It started, and what's I apologize, the new president of FGCU, she's great.
Ansel.
And Dr. Ansel, and she's
Great
up
lady.
there, and I walked over at halftime and said, I just want to apologize. What for? And I said, what we're going to do to you in the second half. And she was so graceful because at the end of the game, we were down on the floor, and she walked over, and I said, never mind.
Yeah, and I was just talking the whole time. It was great. Remember
Can you say in the podcast?
No, he can't.
he'll
I'm
bleep
writing it down.
He bleeps it out.
Thank you.
But
I just said, can you say blank?
It's fine.
beep. No. But I remember I was just sitting there. And Abby, who is my hygienist, was sitting there with us, and she was getting mad the whole time. And I'm like, come on. I mean, there was just a nice guy next to us. He was like, you remember, he kept looking at me. He was like, oh, because that was fun. College basketball is amazing.
The good news, what protect you was you were state representative. Otherwise, people would have probably taken you under the bleachers and done terrible things.
Yeah, probably. But what a great game, and it was
What a
fun.
great moment for the university.
Oh.
Is as upset as I was about losing, watching just the absolute joy at the arena there was pretty special.
3,000 people arena.
Sounded like 10,000.
Yeah, no, it's always great. It's always good to go watch the boys and the girls there play. I mean, they do a great job. We've talked about getting football. Never is going to happen.
Well,
time.
you remember Wilson Bradshaw?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He used to be a member of Baywater Boat Club.
Well, here's a little secret. I don't think he'd mind me saying it now. Wilson and I had our season tickets at FAU together. He was an owl.
Okay.
That's where he got both his undergrad and his master's.
Nice.
And great guy.
Good dude.
But we'd go over to football games on the rare occasions that he would go undercover. He'd wear a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. I always seen him that was back when Dunk City. Remember always him behind
He
there.
was so proud.
Oh, yeah. So proud there behind there. And he would be right there with the kids in there. I think we might get blown away. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
I like the breeze.
The breeze is nice. We're underneath the tee. Yeah, we'll be
Great
okay.
story with Brad, and it tells you, people say sports are such a waste of money. I can't
Not
remember
at all.
the exact number, but before the basketball team had their run, the number of hits on the FGCU website a month used to be about something like 800. After Dunk City, they were getting several thousand a week.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really not because now their women's sports programs, phenomenal. Why the guys can't catch up. There's a little challenge for our FGCU men, catch up with the girls. But the
Girls went to the Sweet 16 before the boys did. Way before Dunk City was even there.
but they're getting their volleyball team, phenomenal. But yet, it's a great program, Grace. It's something we should all be proud of. And we're watching it. It's not in its infancy anymore, but we're still watching the development.
20 years. 20
Yeah,
years.
20 years from now, it'll be amazing.
20 years at FGCU's been.
But Wilson Bradshaw, when he was president, they asked him, when are we going to have a football team? And he said, we're not. And he was smart enough to have done a study and said, with the population base that we have, do the sport. And he was right.
Yeah. No,
So
I
they
mean,
put the money in basketball.
yeah. No, there's maybe one day, a long time from now, but it is where you build the stadium, all the stuff. It's just not, it's so expensive. You're talking $100 million just to have a football program. And with all the portal stuff going on now and everything else, it was great to see Indiana. That kid from Miami, what a Mendoza. Yeah. What a great
story. Great kid.
story. Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully he does something in Vegas. I know Vegas is where,
Well, hopefully Vegas doesn't do something to him.
yeah. You hate to see that, but no, it's going to be good from there. So,
What's your favorite sports team? I've always. Do you even really have a favorite sports team?
it's tough, right? Because I was always traveling when I was a kid, right? So we were always on the road. Got into NASCAR because we did all the races and stuff like that. That was back with Earnhardt and Gordon, that's when we were in NASCAR, the peak. It was amazing. It was
I'm sorry,
crazy.
sir. There's a guy named Richard Petty that would disagree with you.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. His son was Kyle was there. I seen Richard, and he would drive, and he would have the hat and the thing, and he would do all the stuff, and it was great. But I think for football, I like the Dolphins. They're horrible, but we'll see what happens.
New regime in town. Things may be different in 2 years.
I think Ross gets in the way all the time. He's kind of got that Dallas Cowboy. I can't think of him right now. Who's the owner?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones issue where he gets involved and doesn't let people do their jobs. And I think it's unfortunate. I like the Gators. Go to UF to see. I've dated enough girls from UF over the years. I've spent a couple times there. But FSU is fun. So, hey, if it's a Florida team, I'm down. But it's nice to go to the college games and actually see people show up.
We'll actually have you come over to an FAU game where a bucket list trip. You're welcome to go with us. Because I, as a season ticket holder, I get little options. But FAU plays Army at West Point on October the 17th. So my old commander, who lives here in Bonita Springs from the Army, and my best friend Jerry Teven, we're going to fly up and spend 3 days. And Roy's last command was West Point.
I would love to go, but unfortunately, I'm in Mississippi or the State Fair. So I got to make money.
We'll send you pictures.
Yeah, no, but I'm down. Love to. Is the podcast getting all this wind?
Yeah, I know it's getting the hot air, but is it getting all this wind?
This is kind of, we're out in the elements. This is a good experience.
Yeah, is that got rain?
It does, but it's not getting close. it's
the rain looks like it's more over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can see we're okay. We're getting there.
I could deal with
it. It might stop before it gets to us. Who knows? This time of year.
2 years ago, I've been crying.
But no, I love you go to the Everblades. Like we went to the game to one of the Kelly Cup fly-offs. I was like, that's when you go. Place was packed.
Should have brought that. Good for you for bringing that up. We just won our 4th Kelly Cup in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's like winning the Stanley Cup 4 times.
Yeah, 4-peat.
And you've been to the games. It's quality hockey. So those kids end up in the NHL.
Yeah, no, I took a couple of the staff. We went over there and we got nosebleed seat, but it was great. And it was just fun to go to and just check out. It's like you go to the Panthers, it's great. You go to Tampa, like to the Lightning games. That's a whole nother level. Those people are intense. I think when you're outside.
You think anybody from Tampa listens to your podcast?
Probably. I don't know.
Well, that's a shame because I was going to say, why would anybody go to a Tampa Bay Lightning game? Because you can go to a Panther game.
But I got to say, it's nice. I was talking to the guys that we had there. Like we had Julia, Dylan, and Jordan, one of the guys who used to work for us. Like you work outside all day. It's nice to go inside where it's cold. Just kind of chill out, at the game and sit there and experience it. But they do a good job. The Hoffman family's dumped a bunch of money into that arena. It's nice to see. It's good to see.
Well, and to see it full.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And Floridians, they're all about it. They play. That's something to do. We get so many Midwesterners down here, like you say. Most Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, they all roll down here. The East Coast is more New York and New Jersey.
So let's see if I can get you in trouble.
It's not easy.
Probably is. So
not hard.
You're probably following a little bit of World Cup.
Uh-huh.
And so I can say this as a former soccer player that this is the best men's team that the U.S. has ever had.
Okay.
You hear that around the world. People are really surprised. They're playing like a team. So, and 2 wins,
convincing wins. But let's say the USA, and I think they're actually going to make it to the quarterfinals. They don't have any major injuries, which would be, again, phenomenal. But if it's not the US, who do you want to win the World Cup?
I gotta kind of like this Tartan Army.
Oh, the Scots?
The Scots,
They are the
with
sentimental
the
favorite.
bagpipes and like you see them on Instagram, like Europeans experiencing America for the first time. They're like, free refills. You mean I can get a Coke and I don't have to pay for another one?
They're saying that the Scots have taken over Boston, that the Irish are all leaving.
Yeah. So now they're all down in Miami now. So they're all going
But
there.
it's not just the Scots. It's so many foreign countries. And what I'm hearing back from my friends, we've got offices all over the country. These people like us.
Yeah.
Because they're coming to America. They're being treated hospitably.
Yeah.
People are expecting Scotland or England that all these hooligans are going to come. No. They're coming here. They're spending a ton of money.
And they're like,
happy to
Americans
be-
are nice.
And they're saying, what a beautiful country. Americans are fun.
This is
and
so
everybody's
clean.
having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they drink Boston out of beer, which is
And
pretty
it's very
wild.
plausible.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, so, we did the F1 race back.
Formula One.
Formula One
Yeah.
when it was in Indianapolis. And this was after September 11th. So we're going back ways. And that was the first time they had F1 there. And they had F1 there for probably 5-8 years. And that's when we really seen the Europeans come over. And it was crazy because they come over and we would have, we'd have concessions there. And we, ice and drink. Nope, I want my Coke warm. And they would come with the painted faces and the flags and the banners. And I remember seeing Prince William, the younger, not William, the younger boy. Harry.
Prince Harry.
He was in a Rolls. He was there at the F1. He had the Oakleys on. It was kind of cool to see him drive by in the Rolls. And, the chauffeur was in the front of the car. And he was in the suit. But yeah, we had a lot of foreigners there. And they were great. It was really good. So I like seeing all these foreigners come here. Because I think the last time the World Cup was here was in 94. And I was 10. So now and you just see people are like, oh, this place is amazing. This is great. We love coming here.
1994, were you born?
I was born in 94. Yeah.
Oh. Don't call me sir. I work for a living just like him.
But, so it's nice to see. But yeah, I like to see if U.S. doesn't win, I'm kind of rooting for the Scots. But I like a couple of these new countries that kind of come in and, see what's going on. I see what Brazil's won a bunch. Was it Italy's won? France has won. England has won, right?
Yep.
There's only 5 countries that have won the World Cup, I think.
Oh, no. Germany's won 2 or 3.
Yeah, but they just repeat. They keep repeating. It's like
You're absolutely right. South America, Argentina, Brazil.
they've won a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually it's like there's only been 5 or I've seen some 5 or 7
England
countries.
has not won a World Cup since 1966, and it's the game we invented.
That's true. So that's pretty wild. But it's fun to see. I mean, I love it. We'll see what happens and where this goes. Well,
This air conditioning's really nice.
it's not going to be closer. So if you could see this weather behind us, this is we could use the rain. That's for sure.
Drought buster.
Yeah, we could do some of that. So what
else could you ask me to embarrass me here with you on a beautiful
what do you
Monday?
What do you see Bonita doing in the next 5 years?
Seriously, I think we're about halfway there, Adam. I really do. The economy stays just stable. Doesn't have to be great. I think downtown in 5 years, we'll be looking at north of West Terry Street as an opportunity. I think that you mentioned it, a parking garage may be in our future. And I think our biggest challenge, you and I have talked about this, is transportation. And that's going to it's certainly not city government or even county government that can solve that problem. That's going to be the state, the federal government. Oh, who's our state rep? Anyway. But,
Right.
your idea, another north-south artery would solve a lot of problems for us.
I was doing a questionnaire with like several questionnaires for WGCU. What do you know about affordable housing at Southwest Florida? Naples Daily News, what are you going to do about affordable? You're not going to build affordable housing next to the coast. But what you can do is make it better for the folks that live in Lehigh to drive I had an employee. He's no longer with us because he wasn't going to spend 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening
Right.
commuting back and forth from Lehigh. And that was staying inside of Lee County. That's not leaving the county. We failed. The local governments have failed. I blame the counties, I blame the city, have failed about doing more infrastructure on roads. It needs to change. This past session, I tried this last year, couldn't get it done. This past session, I put this study in law in 4 places. 3 bills died. 3 bills died. Where
Welcome to politics.
Transportation. Got them in the Senate, got them in the House. 1 bill died, take it, and amended onto another bill, died. Amended onto another bill, died. I finally stuck it in a budget. It was. It's an implementing to the budget. It says that Lee, Collier, and Charlotte County had to come up with a study and let me know by the end of December of this year that is it feasible to merge the 3 MPOs. Now that's a metropolitan planning organization.
Right.
So what happens now is every county takes their money and goes to do whatever the county does. Okay.
And they don't communicate enough.
They don't. The problem is our counties, they over communicate or they under communicate.
It's not done right. Right. In the case of transportation.
Yeah. So Collier doesn't talk to Lee. Lee doesn't talk to Collier. Now Charlotte. Sorry, I'm low. Dorothy. We're in Kansas.
Oh, there goes Toto.
It's Nugget. We're gonna tie you down. Man, oh, fine. This is a real robber. So you look at the map right now, and the roads from Lee Collier doesn't exist. So if this study, the new governor, most likely it's going to be Byron Donalds and his thing here at his kickoff here. You were there at Sugar Shack where we packed people in there. What do we need for Southwest Florida? We need roads. And what I want is limited access. I'm tired of growth. We don't need any more growth. I understand that, but we need limited access. And what that means is build a toll road that's in a mile from 75, where it connects everything where you can get on a toll. They're going to put 75 is going to have a toll. That's going to come. They're going to put extra in a toll lane. They're going to put up sound barriers pretty much from Pine Ridge north, they're going to extend it all the way.
What about the intersections? Or the interchanges, I should say.
The interchanges are going to work on that. They're going to have a road where you can get on in Bonita and get off in a stairway. You never have to get on to the freeway. So they're going to have some of that. And if we're going to do a toll road, that means limited access. So that means if it's going to go through an area of critical concern, like wetlands, you build a bridge.
And they've done that on the East Coast and they work.
Yeah. So that, if somebody wants to pay a toll, they can. You're going to get a lot of people off 75. That gives the people that are working, changes it from 2 hours to drive to work to 45 minutes. That's doable. Who wants to spend 4 hours a day in a car? And that's the only way you're going to be able to help working class folks here. I mean, we've done everything you could. We did the Live Local bill with Kathleen Pasadomo. You're incentivizing developers to build workforce housing mixed in with regular housing. It's not enough.
Well, I'll probably be bending, if I do get reelected, I'll probably be bending your ear. One way or another, I will. Everybody talks about affordable housing, but if we create the type of jobs that will allow people to work here, and we don't have to create hourly wage positions all the time. I'm looking, again, those young people that we talk about, that if we create good middle-class jobs, they're going to stay here.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to afford to live here.
Yeah, no, I mean, keep the doctors here. I mean, but it's tough because there is a lot of folks, and we deal here, a lot of folks that deal here that we're in the service industry, right? We need boat washers. We need, servers and waiters, and it's tough. I mean, it's tough to make, but I mean, if you're a good server or waiter, you can make some serious money down here.
Talk to the young people at Sugar Shack and the Bohemian, at even the Canary Club. They've all got smiles on their faces.
Yeah, so it's good to see, but it's tough. Look at Coconut Jacks, they have a van just to park their people down the road. They park at the VFW and they have a deal with them to park their employees at.
That's what I love about this time of the
expensive.
year is I can get down to Coconut Jacks within 20 minutes.
Yeah, and eat, and you don't have that problem. So, there's a lot we need to work on. I'm excited about that. The MPOs are obviously not going to be excited. So they're going to fight. They're going to, I was talking to a person from DOT, and he's like, Adam, you don't understand what you're doing usually takes 15 years to get this merger study done and all that. You're doing it in, 6 months. So there's going to be a lot of people are going to fight.
I mean, I've said this before to you. I'd love to see more qualified business people in government because business people know what balance sheets look like and how to make it work.
Like, the press is funny because I just got an email from Chad. He works at the Naples Daily News, and I was sending this questionnaire. He's like, hey, do you have a picture of your mugshot? I go, which one are you talking about? And
The early mugshot or the...
he goes, oh, that'll get him talking. Because I told him, I spent a night in jail. And he goes, and I sent him one. He goes, that's a perfect one. He goes, you got to be careful. A businessman with a GED can be dangerous in politics. And I was like, that was like the greatest nod I've had in a while. Like, that's nice. That's cool. This is coming from a guy who's in the press, and usually it's skewed a certain way. Like, hey, I get along with everybody, but it's going to
Keep in mind what Ronald Reagan, one of the marks of a great leader, he knew what his shortcomings were. He was not a businessman. So what did he do? He hired great people who understood business.
Yeah.
That's why he was a great president.
I mean, he was great. Him and Tip and the Gipper, man.
Wasn't afraid of making a decision. But
Get together after and drink some bourbon, and that's with scotch back in the day. So, but we're getting to the end of the show, and we're about to get blown away out of here. Thank God it's summertime. We want to thank our sponsor, Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida. Make sure you give us a call to come down and see us here at Baywater. Family owned and operated. Come down and see my smiling face. Come join the club. It's the easy way to get out on the water and enjoy yourself. Give us a call at 239-495-0455. Again, 239-495-0455. We got Sherry's Ship Store opening up soon, so we might have Mom's Key Lime Pie for sale in there. We'll see what happens. We'll have beer and wine, so we'll have beers here before long. Nigel, thank you for coming on the show, sir.
I actually enjoyed it, so thank you for inviting me, Adam.
A little plug for your business. A little plug for your
Appreciate
business.
New Res, absolutely,
Res.
right here in Bonita Springs and Naples and Fort Myers.
If you need a broker, this is...
Well, no, we're actually the mortgage bank.
Mortgage bank.
We're actually the lender.
The lenders, you need a good lender.
I don't want to say anything bad about brewers, but if you want to get straight to the source with to get a better rate, great service, great. Res.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. We're going to get you on here again. Thank you for serving in Bonita. And we're getting close there, Don. Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, before we get blown away, the exclusive club of Southwest Florida.